stove.
Okay,
Hi guys, I'm Danielle.
so I'm Ren. I'm the papa.
Hi guys, and welcome.
You stove.
Hey guys, and welcome back to welcome to the Lucky Stove. And yeah.
Yeah, just stop.
Come on, friends.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Otherwise, the government will listen to your every move and watch your every sentence. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Lucky Stove. I'm Danielle.
I'm Ren. Right?
He's Renee. And today we are going to make some dipping bread to go along with some
Sauce.
sauce. What kind of sauce?
Well, it's chicken. And normally we say sauce, and a sauce, and then you got the chicken.
We're gonna have a dipping sauce, a chicken dipping sauce to go along with our bread that we're gonna make from scratch, gluten-free, very low carb. I can't say carb-free because I'm not gonna lie to you. And what else? Gluten-free, yeast-free.
Oh, yeast-free as well?
Yeah.
Ready.
No.
We're going to put olives in there as well. I chopped up, oh, you did that.
Oh yeah, we did. No, we didn't mention it. He chopped up some olives. We have some onion, but we're not putting that in there. We're putting the olives in there, and it's gonna be so delicious.
Yeah, the olives going to be in the bread. And
Yeah.
I chopped up some onion and garlic that's going to go into the meat sauce.
And the oven is already preheating at 200 degrees. Actually, it is 175 degrees, so that way the bread can bake afterwards. The bread is the easiest part, actually. So we have our mixing bowl here, and we're gonna put this on our handy dandy scale, and now we're gonna get to work. So we're gonna zero this out, tear it, and so now we can get started. All right. So we're using 180 grams of almond flour. You wanna do it?
Go ahead, no, go ahead, you do it. There you go.
Okay, good enough. Now we will add baking soda, but I'm going to, not baking soda, baking powder. But this time I'm going to smash it.
Okay, let me do that.
You remember?
Yeah.
Oh my word. And as a matter of fact, let's not even play.
Because we don't want to get, like, last time we had all kinds of lumps like it's been wet. It hasn't been wet, but like you got all these lumps in it. So we had to crack those down till it get powdery, because it wasn't. So how much do you want to put in it?
We need 2 teaspoons. So.
Oh, so if you're going to get a teaspoon, I'll just throw it in here first. Yeah, you don't want that because you got to find all that stuff, and then you got to get your hands in there and clean it. Is that a half a teaspoon?
Yeah.
So 4 of those.
Right. Half.
Oh,
I was gonna say 2. Half. 2.
there
Okay.
you go.
All right. Yes, we had horrible clumps last time. We don't want to play games. Let me see here. After that,
Can I have that little spoon?
you sure can. We need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Where is my salt?
So I remember people, we're not using yeast, so no yeast in there. Because normally that's the first thing you think about when you're baking bread, right?
Right. And you could add it for flavor if you don't have a problem with your gut
That's it, no
and
lumps.
yeast. So now we need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
A 1/4 teaspoon.
1/4 teaspoon.
And this is half a teaspoon, so I only need half.
I would dig at the bottom where the granules are smaller. I couldn't find my one that we pre-blend, so we're just pushing.
Just one little pinch more. There.
Okay, and now we have our Jacob Hoy psyllium husk powder.
Psyllium husk powder. Now how much we need of that, Mom?
We need a 1/4 cup. That's a half a cup. We need a 1/4 cup, so half of that.
Yeah, that's half. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, guys, so we have our dry ingredients together. Now we're gonna add our liquid ingredients together, or we already did. We have here 420 milliliters of water, hot water. We have 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, melted. And we have 2 tablespoons and a splash of apple cider vinegar. Does that sound accurate? That's
Yeah,
more accurate.
it does.
Okay.
It does, yeah.
So now we're gonna turn on the machine, but the problem with the machine is that it's loud. So we will turn down the sound, but we'll let you see we'll let you see it go. Okay, babe, go ahead. So this recipe actually calls for coconut flour, but we were out, so I decided to use almond flour. And as you all know, almond flour and coconut flour are not the same. And coconut flour has a higher absorbency rate than almond flour. So it does look a bit watery now. What we did is we added some flax meal, which was an idea to begin with, but I just didn't follow through. So there it is, me following through. So back to the old mixer. Fantastic.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, you're not gonna do it once more?
No, I think this time around we will use our...
Add these, and then with the spatula mix them?
Yeah, we'll add the olives and then we'll fold them in. Good idea.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to say no more what I'm doing. I'll put in these olives and then I'll fold them in. Fold them in. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
So don't go all mental on it. Just fold them in nice and gently. As my guitar gently weeps. Okay. Feels good, this though.
Yeah. Awesome. We're gonna do the last bits of folding and maybe add some more seasoning to it, and then we're gonna get it out and spread it out onto a pan covered with silicone. Silicone.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the dough here. We added some onion, I'd say a 1/4 cup of onion, or a handful if you will, maybe 1/8 of a cup. And we added some diced garlic. So diced garlic and diced onion. And now we're gonna add it to our pan. Here on this pan, we have our silicone, and we have a ring, and we're gonna let it cook within the ring. All right, is this ring too small, babe?
The ring for the dough, you mean, or for the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much. Let me see the dough quickly. We have a bigger one?
Yeah, we have one slightly bigger.
I would use the one just slightly bigger.
Okay.
But that's me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Because in husk powder, you can find that your dough takes longer to cook, or it doesn't cook all the way through, and the reason why is that you didn't let it cook enough. And sometimes if it's too overloaded on itself, because it's not like regular dough, right? It can possibly be wet. And if you've ever checked out our trials and flops for the pizza, then you'll know what we're talking about. As a matter of fact, check it out.
Way better.
Here. And I've even expanded it on the side, so that way we can have a full. Now, you're probably wondering why don't I use the bottom? It's because, really, I want to make sure I have some non-stick surface. That's why.
Plus, we're not making a cake, right?
Right.
We're making bread.
So what you should do is oil your rings so that way it can release easily, unless you have enough fat in your dough. And I'm pressing it down. I don't expect it to get very tall. This is inspired from Sweetest Honey, Corinne Claude Pierre, Sweetest Honey brioche buns. This is inspired by that, and then I twisted it, as I always do, as you guys know. And I hope you guys do the same, that when you come across recipes and you're not quite sure what to do, or maybe your family doesn't like this, that, or the other, that you don't just give up on life. Twist the recipe and make it work for you. Because at the end of the day, if you don't practice, if you don't try new things, then you'll never know what you can do. So there it is. I think it looks great. Here we are, and here's the silicone. And here it is sitting on a pizza pan. Or you can call it a cookie pan. I call it a pizza pan. All right, so now I'm gonna do what they do with my fingers, and yeah, maybe wet your fingers before you decide to stab your dough. But I already did it, so that's what it is. It smells good. I'm gonna throw it in the oven now. It'd be a great time to actually spray some olive oil on it, but you don't want it to oxidize in the oven. And some garlic powder and all the good stuff.
So what I've been doing, I've been cutting the meat off the bone, because I had thighs, chicken thigh, and we had about a kilo. It was, I think. Yeah, about a kilo.
Kilo and a half.
Yeah, and I took about 6 of them. So I took the bone out, and I seasoned it now with a splash of lemon juice, 3 drops of Tabasco, only 3 drops, but still 3 drops. Some Laos, which is a galangal root. It's more used in the Indonesian kitchen, basically, but since we had it, it gives it a nice freshy taste, like ginger a bit, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, some cumin, like a 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon. The Laos, 1/2 teaspoon, and some black pepper, a teaspoon. And then I used a seasoning, which we still had, which the Caribbeans use it a lot, the Jamaicans and stuff. It's got chili flakes in it. It's a one that's prepared already, the seasoning here. But it's got, I'll read it to you. It's got some salt, some mild paprika powder, some black pepper, garlic, chili pepper, onion, and lemon. And that's it. And I added that all together, and now I'm mixing it. I'm seasoning it. So then we're gonna fry this up in a minute, and then we're gonna add onions. We use 2 onions, yellow onions, average, not too big, but not too small either, just average.
We call them medium.
Yeah, medium. And what else did I use, baby? 6 or 7 cloves of garlic. Cloves of garlic. And I chop those up, and they're gonna go in here. And then we're also gonna use some tomato puree.
To make a nice sauce.
Yeah, a nice sauce.
So the deal is to make a dipping sauce.
Yep.
And we do have the bread in the oven now. It's been in the oven for about, I guess, 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes, yeah. Now, in this regard, you can follow the recipe that Corinne has on her website. Otherwise, you can just wait till the end and we'll tell you how long it took. Just like that.
And we'll show you how to make the sauce, because I saw when I went into the kitchen, I know I didn't have nothing to do there, but I just had to, it drew me there. Like, look at me. So I opened that door and I saw, pow, coconut milk.
Oh, I'm gonna have to disappoint you. We have no more coconut milk. That's just leftover coconut water. That's it.
So this whole story was just like...
Sorry. Okay, you ready?
So I'm gonna start with the chicken sauce now. Wonder why we call it chicken sauce, just the sauce with the chicken inserted. So this is about 2 tablespoons of coconut oil that I'm heating up now. And then I'm gonna add the chicken to it. But I'm gonna start with the onion and the onions and the garlic. That's what I'm gonna start with. And then tomato puree will be inserted later on as well. 1 can. It's a double one, so it's not Usually they are half the size, but we use the bigger one.
And it's double concentrated.
And it's double concentrated as well.
So normally, if we're going low carb or keto on purpose, then we're only using half a can or 1 tablespoon. We're using half a tablespoon or half a can. But since we are not worrying about the carbohydrates, we're going to use a full can, and it's going to serve our family of 3 with the sauce. Now you can do like, you know, overall this will make 6 servings for people, but just to let you know. So in goes the garlic and the
L'oignon. Voilà.
How you guys love our new wok? This was a gift. This was gifted to Envision Health Team. Pretty cool. Not sponsored, just sponsored by love.
Now we just fry it just a little bit. We just let it like simmer just a little bit. Because if I fry them all up now and I add the chicken, then they will all be burned right in the end. Because they've been on there so long. So I already add the chicken right now. Oh, look at that chicken! Isn't that nice? I prefer the thigh to the breast.
Do you?
Yeah, the thigh is more. I think it's less dry.
I agree.
Yeah.
People can learn how to cook their breast right, but most people don't, and so they usually dry it out like hardcore. Because they're afraid, and rightly so. Make sure you cook your meat all the way. You don't want to wind up with H. pylori or anything. That's Helicobacter pylori. That's a bacteria that you will definitely feel. Usually send you to the restroom with diarrhea and adverse reactions, vomiting. Of course, that doesn't sound too tasty when we're talking about food, does it?
Yeah. I was like, okay.
But that's what happens, guys. That's what happens. So we're gonna let this cook, and we'll be back. Okay, so we've added about, what, a 1/4 cup of water?
Yeah.
About a 1/4 cup of water, and now we're adding the tomato puree. We'll add more water if we feel like it's too thick, because we do want it to be a somewhat of a dipping sauce.
Yeah, you wanted the right consistency, so not too thick and not too thin. Yeah, that's easy. That's what you want.
And then Renee pointed something out to me. Baby, explain that, Red.
When you get like chop choy, for instance.
Not here?
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean the red part.
Oh, the red part right here on the pan. I dripped some oil on it just now. But that's an indicator for when your pan is hot enough. That's what I read when we got this pan. And indeed, at first it was like an indicator because it turns red, right? And when you wash it or you cool it down, it will be black again. So that's nice. When your pan is hot enough, it will be red. So.
No, I'm turning it all the way down to low. I'm turning it all the way down to low because it's it was on high. And I do believe that the sauce is really getting thick already, and we're going to need to loosen it up some so that way the bread can be dipped into it.
Here,
Okay.
I hand this over to you again.
So, the bread is starting to smell really good. Yes, it does. Now, the recipe is for 6 to 8 buns, and usually when bread is separated from itself, then it doesn't need as much time as if you were to make a loaf, for example. But since we're making somewhat of a loaf, we have to keep that in mind. Make sure that the temperature is being watched, and that that we cook it for more time than what is being requested. So oh, that smells good. So you have to keep that in mind.
Think it's right, or it needs a little more water?
I think
it's just about right, to be honest, right? But
Yeah.
you're stirring it, so you feel it.
right. I feel it, and I feel like it's all right.
Yeah.
Here, you want to take this?
Sure.
Okay. And we're back. Once it's done.
Voila.
Okay, so the sauce is done, and that's great, and it's cooling down actually. But the bread needs a little bit more time. So what I've done is I've decreased the temperature a little bit because it was beautiful brown, but you don't want it to be burnt. And then I put a lid on it.
Okay, clever.
And I loosened it from its from the pan. I loosened it from the pan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back in the oven, so that way it can steam some, and then that'll be that. I say give it about 10 minutes. See you soon. Okay, guys. So we are back. We finished. We have the dip here.
Super nice, super sweet, not super sweet, just super tasty, very nice.
And then we have
The bread.
the bread. Now, you could have avoided this yourself by using coconut flour and separating it more. Really, it feels like the brioche dough, and if you let it cool down, like you do need to let keto doughs do. If you have keto bread and you are using psyllium husk, you have to let it cool down. Otherwise, you're gonna get a soft, soggy, or perhaps you don't use, for example, this guy. Maybe once you're done and you feel like it's good enough, you pick it up and you flip it over and you put it on a rack to let it cook on both sides that way.
It is very tasty though.
It is tasty, yeah. So don't get us twisted. We're gonna eat it, but it just depends on how we're gonna do it.
And just not now. This is the top of my head.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we added some, by the way, we added some cloves to the sauce to make it more delicious. And that's it. Now, Renee, I'll let you do a taste test again on the sauce. Not the bread. I'll take it for the team.
No, well, that's what I'll do. I was going to say, you too as well then. You don't have to, but I was going to do the same
I mean,
thing.
if you're going to do it, I'll let you do it.
Because I already did it. I already tasted it.
Let them look at the texture.
Yeah, it's just moisty. That's yummer, is that?
It's just moist, yeah.
But here we go. I'll add some chicken and I'll add some of the bread. Can't help it. It is good. It's just good. Seriously. It's just too moist. Maybe we have to let it sit and it might turn into a better thing. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to take it off of the silicone because, you know, silicone will keep the moisture stuck on the bottom. We're going to take it off the silicone. I will most likely put it on our cooling rack and throw it back in the oven so that way it can cook on the other side so it's not so soggy. We don't do soggy. If you remember the pizza, okay? Remember that?
I remember.
I remember.
I'm still on that phone call. Remember I hit my elbow?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's hilarious. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us here at the Lucky Stove. May your stove bring you luck.
Or coupon.
And hey, guys, don't forget to mind your own macros.
Yeah, exactly.
Check us out on Envision Health. We'll be posting a whole lot more pictures than what we have here. And once it is done, once we throw it back in the oven, we'll post some pictures of what it looks like after.
Yeah.
That's about it, right?
That's about it.
All right, well, we're hungry. Can we go?
We're going to eat. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, don't forget to comment down below. Guys?